Hello and welcome to Kids Heaven Public School online classes. For my grade 9 students, from your NCERT book of Beehive, chapter number 8, Reach for the Top. There is a poem at the end of this chapter. The title of this poem is On Killing a Tree. On Killing a Tree. So, we are first going to look at the introduction to this poem. Let's begin. The poet sensitizes the reader and highlights the fact that trees are living things. He equates trees with humans to convey that trees should not be cut because destroying trees is just like killing a human body. So, our poet tells us that trees are also living things, the same as we human beings. Okay? So, cutting a tree is the same as killing a human being. A tree does not merely die by cutting because it regrows from where it is cut. If it has to be destroyed, then it has to be uprooted. Now this means that just by cutting a tree, it does not mean that the tree will die. Instead, the place from where it is cut, it grows again. Regrows means grows again. It starts growing again. But if you really want to destroy that tree, finish that tree completely, then it has to be uprooted, means it has to be removed from the roots. Okay? That is how the introduction of this poem is. Now let's see who our poet is. Okay? Now, the poet Jeev Patel. Now, Jeev Patel is an Indian poet, presently 80 years old. He's a playwright, he's a painter, as well as a practicing physician. He belongs to a group of writers who have subscribed themselves to the Green Movement, which is involved in an effort to protect the environment. His poems speak of deep concerns for nature and expose man's cruelty to it. Now, our poet Jeev Patel is an Indian poet. He also writes plays, he also makes paintings, and he is a physician presently in practice. Now, there is a group called Green Movement. Now, Green Movement is just what they do is they try to protect our environment. Okay, for example, they protect the trees. The trees should not be cut down. They have campaigns for keeping the environment clean, to avoid disasters, to avoid pollution. So he also belongs to such a group of Green Movement. And the poems that Jeev Patel write always shows concern about nature. Okay, it tells us, he gives us information about nature and expose man's cruelty to it. That is the way man does wicked things to nature, spoils the nature, like cutting down trees. That is not a good thing. So Jeev Patel, in his poems, he tells us about how he cares for the nature, for the environment, and how human beings destroy it. So our poem today is also about killing a tree. That means how a tree is cut down, how it is destroyed. But before the poem, let's also look at the theme and the rhyme. Now the main theme is to create a new thinking in the mind of the peoples that trees are as most important living creatures as animals, so they should not be cut down. Now the theme, that is the central idea, that means the purpose of this poem is mainly to create a new thinking, that is people should understand that cutting trees is not a good thing. The way trees are surviving is the same way as other living things such as animals are surviving. They are also living things. We should not cut them down. Okay, that is the central idea of this poem. And if you talk of the rhyming, there is no rhyming in this poem. It is a free verse, meaning the ending of each verse in the poem. You know, the sentences in a poem are called verse. So each verse ends in a different voice. It does not rhyme one after the other. Okay, This is the theme and the rhyme. So dear students, now I will first recite the poem for you, and after that I will give you the explanation of it. Okay? On killing a tree. You must have observed people cutting down trees. But can they kill a tree? Is it easy to do so? Let's read the poem and find out what the poet says on killing a tree. So dear students, I am now going to recite the poem for you. Okay? So, it takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, and water, and out of its leprous hide sprouting leaves. Sow, back, and chop. Sow, hack, and chop. But this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which, if unchecked, will expand again to former size. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. Or pulled out entirely, out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source white and wet, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. So after the recitation, now let us look at the explanation of each of the stanzas. So in the first stanza, the poet tells us that a simple jab means a cut, the way we just hit a tree with a cut with a knife. So a simple cut does not destroy a tree, means it does not kill a tree. A tree grows gradually, it grows little by little, and the roots are inside the earth, that is the soil, the sand. A plant takes nutrition from the soil to grow into a big tree. The food a plant gets is from the soil. So gradually it takes the food through the roots of the plant, and then a small plant becomes a big tree. So the tree is firmly bound with the soil, meaning the tree has roots in the ground, so it is strong. It is standing strongly on the soil. Inside, the roots are inside. It takes in sunlight, it takes in water, and it takes in air to grow, okay, into a strong trunk, and it has numerous leaves. Numerous means plenty, many, okay, so it has many leaves. This is our first stanza. Now our second stanza tells us that human beings can cut and chop the bark of trees into many pieces. Okay, we can cut a tree, we can cut it down into many small pieces, but that doesn't mean that the tree has died. The tree is still alive because we have cut part of the tree only. Okay, the point of the tree which gives out sap, just like human being bleeds. You see, the bleeding bark, that means whenever you cut a tree, even a little, you will see there is a liquid coming out of that tree. That liquid, sometimes watercolor, sometimes it is the color of milk. So that color is called sap, that liquid, S-A-P, sap. So a tree also bleeds the way a human being bleeds. If you cut your hand by mistake, blood comes out, isn't it? So the way you bleed with blood, that is the same way the tree also bleeds with sap. Now, whenever you cut your hand or you wound yourself, gradually, slowly, your wound will become okay and your skin will become okay. Isn't it? The same way, when you cut a tree, it bleeds out a liquid called sap, and with time, after some time, slowly, it heals and new branches come out from the trunk. Okay? Now, stanza 3, here the poet says that if you want to kill the tree, it has to be uprooted, means it has to be removed from the roots. We have to separate the tree from the earth, that is the sand, the soil where the tree is. We have to separate the tree from the earth. Only then we can destroy the tree completely. You see, the sensitive and hidden part of the tree is the root. It is the hidden part because it is inside the ground, isn't it? So it's unless we remove those roots, only then we can destroy the tree. And the color of the roots is white and they are damp. Damp means it is wet. It has moisture, it has some water. Okay, so they are white and they are damp. Okay, then stanza 4. Now once you have removed the tree from the roots, okay, then gradually it withers. Withers means it starts, if the leaves are green and they are straight, they start becoming weak. The way human beings become weak, like for example, if you're not feeling fine and you have fever, your eyes become a bit down, you become lazy. So the same way, when the tree is not getting water, food, sunlight, it starts drying up slowly. The body of the tree will become brown. It is going to start twisting and it becomes hard. Finally, the tree will die. So, gradually the tree will die. All the water will dry from it, all the moisture. Okay, when there's heat and sun on the tree, it starts pulling out all the water and gradually it will become dry and hard, and finally the tree will die this way. Oh. Now you see, before leaving, I would like to say, let's save trees. Remember, the air we breathe in comes from trees, isn't it? The air we breathe in, which is oxygen, we get that from trees. It is trees that exhale out oxygen, only then we can breathe in. So let us save trees. I think this is the most beautiful thing we can do. We should save our environment, we should save our nature, and we should try as much as we can not to break branches, not to kill trees. Okay, let us save our trees. So dear students, this was about on killing a tree. I hope you have understood this. Thank you.